Hello, my name is Alun. My pronouns are he, him, and tonight, in my time at least, I'm facilitating a two-shot. This is the first of a two-shot of Coal City. Um, Coal City is a game that is currently in second, is now in, I should say, recently published as a second edition, still by Malcolm Craig, but this second edition is published by Handiwork Games. Um, and all I will say, otherwise, as an intro, is that this game, like most of my pretty much all of my online games, was organized as part of the Open Hearth gaming community. If you don't know about the Open Hearth, please search Open Hearth and come join us and play with us because we'd love to have you. Um, this is a game set in Berlin. Uh, I've set in December 1949. The game sets it in 1950, but that really doesn't matter. So it is the winter of 1949. The Cold War is in its early stages, and Berlin remains divided, but there is not yet a Berlin Wall. The rules describe it as a game of hidden agendas, trust, and monster hunting. Um, Now, on the question of hidden agendas, each of the characters, when we get to create them, will have a couple of their own agendas. One defined by their nation, one defined by themselves. Um, the game can be run in one of two formats, open or closed. Closed means that those hidden agendas literally remain secret between the player and the GM, who in this game is called Control. To be honest, I don't particularly like those kind of games. I like players to know as much as possible and then trust them to play fairly. So they may know stuff, but their characters won't. So we're going to be playing the game in the open format, where everyone will see the hidden agendas, but agents won't know them unless they become apparent. Um, I do want to offer a fairly strong content warning or historical note, perhaps, because I think it's important to say that the atrocities of the real Nazi regime are well documented. Um, and in setting a game in the aftermath of that regime, we will not in any way trivialize those real and terrible events. I also want to point out that Stalin's reign of terror is also a factor to be remembered and considered, particularly as Russia is currently embarked on an illegal war of aggression against Ukraine, Slava Ukraini. We will therefore be playing with respect for the history and its victims, whether they are in the past or sadly in the present. So I'm sorry if that's a bit of a downer, but I think it's important to say. The players, when we come to create them, will be citizens of the inverted commas, what was described at the time as the great powers. And they are going to be working for or being recruited by a multinational organization called the Inter-Allied Scientific Liaison Commission, ISLAC, which publicly is all about what it says, scientific liaison. But in fact, its true purpose is to find the leftover fruits of our settings Nazi border science, that pseudoscience, that occult of our created Nazi regime, and ensure that they remain, well, that depends on which country and what your national agenda might be, I guess, what happens to those secrets. And we will talk more about ISLAC when the time comes. The game offers a number of different tones, and I will say to the players now, I have chosen noir because I set as homework the trailer for the digitally updated Third Man, a film I was very fond of very young, and so noir is where I'm heading. Subject matter, inevitably, this is a game about secrets and the Cold War and monsters created by a horrific regime. And therefore, there's an inevitable sense of some shadows, some darkness. Quite how dark or disturbing it will become will depend largely on the way we lean in play and the lines and veils, the safety tools we put in place. And that's the only thing I want to say then is that we are playing with a set of layered safety tools. lines, veils, the X card. I don't have to explain these to these players because they've all played with me before. We know these terms. And with the open door, if you don't know about safety tools, look them up because they are worth their weight in gold. And we'll be using a process called Stars and Wishes at the end to debrief, just to make sure that we kind of feel that we've tied off some loose ends and identified what we'd like next time. So we're playing with those safety tools. We're also playing within the Open Hearth Code of Conduct, which we think is exemplary. I sometimes summarize it as don't be a dick to people who don't know it. And I know that won't be a problem here. So that is the game we are playing. And it's an interesting game because it begins with us. Oh, sorry, I will invite the players now to just check out the line, the safety tab, and just see if there's anything that they're uncomfortable with. But I'd quite like to begin with what the game calls the situation. This is the setup. This is the nature of the world we're going to be playing in, I guess, and some of the stuff that we might be doing there. So the first question is the atmosphere. Now, the tone is noir, and what I'm curious about is whether you as players have a particular sense of what that means to you. What does a noir atmosphere mean to you? And I've put some stuff there. I suppose it's horror noir, but I put some stuff there as to get you thinking. That's not a list to choose from. It's inspiration that you can make use of or not. So let me start with T. T, is there, if you think noir, is there something about the atmosphere that you want to see in the game?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I sort of first reach for film, things like The Maltese Falcon, maybe a little bit more on the pulpy side, sort of Dick Tracy. Um, I think sort of the core themes of noir that I would want to see represented are the inherent threat of violence, which I think we're probably going to deal with, um, and also there's a better word for this, but I'm not finding it, untruthfulness.
And
Uh,
well, I mean, I think I know what you mean, but Mark, you're nodding. Now that was a mistake at untruthfulness. What are you? How are you interpreting that in this context?
Deception. Deception is the word I was looking for.
Yeah, deception, paranoia, not knowing what is who is being truthful. Yeah, deception.
Okay. So deception, who is telling the truth?
And
If
also,
if anyone.
uh, intriguing things in noir often touch on like innocence, whether it's genuine or feigned. Yeah,
So
that's interesting.
innocence, um, real or not. Dot dot dot. Okay. Zena, what about you? Anything noir conjures up to you?
I mean, all of the things that were mentioned, surely, but also, yeah, I think double lives, or also in sort of dark pasts, that sort of thing.
Ooh, double lives and dark pasts. I like that. Now, yeah, when we come to start describing your lives prior to this, that might be very valuable. And finally, Brandon, anything you want to add to that in terms of atmosphere?
Yes, everything has a price.
Ooh,
Good
In
point.
other words, if there's something you need to know, someone knows it. And if you could find out a way to give them what they want, and also the flip side of that is that almost anything good comes with a cost.
okay.
You
So,
can't, there's no unalloyed happiness.
ooh, great. Okay. So those are some of the ways that we will try to embody this atmosphere. Um, Locations. I started with T last time. Let me this time start with Mark. Mark, any thoughts on locations? Above ground, below ground. Again, I put some examples there, but they are not meant to be limiting.
I like the idea of cabarets and bars, more of an urban setting, maybe.
Okay, cabarets and bars. Zena, anything you want to throw in the locations?
I mean, I love those because of Cabaret and also some books that I love. But I think I do love U-Bahn stations. They seem like
Yes.
a very interesting space for this sort of setting to explore.
And just so I make sure I got this right, the U-Bahn station is the underground, isn't it?
Underground, yeah.
Yeah, fine.
Well, I mean, they are the
Oh, yes.
underground, but in some cities they tend
They
to
go,
go above
yeah,
and below, depending on where you are. It can be very confusing.
yeah. But
But
they've got
theoretically, it's supposed to
tunnels,
be
really
underground.
long, dark tunnels. That's what we want. Okay.
Yep.
Brandon, what about you? Anything in terms of a location you're interested in seeing? I mean, we've only got 2 shots, so we may not get them all, but you never know.
Sterile industrial areas, factories um, and industrial facilities, during, times when no one's there and things like that.
Because you don't mean sterile in sense of germ-free, do you? You mean
No, no,
sterile
no,
in
I
sense
don't.
of
I know. I
lifeless?
mean in cold and lifeless, right? They basically the urban equivalent of a desert,
Yeah,
right? Is a
colony.
lot
Yeah.
of these constructed places, an electrical station that's that without that has where's no one's there, but it's a meeting place, that kind of thing.
And still at this time, the bombing and Battle for Berlin will have left lots of those kind of empty shells.
Right.
T, anything you're keen on in terms of locations?
Yeah, this might be a little bit harder to work in, but it would be really cool to do something on the river, maybe on a boat, or I don't know. I'm imagining like Noir standing on a bridge, lighting a cigarette, looking out across the ruins of the city,
River,
thinking about
waterfront,
monsters. Mhm.
bridges. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, where else are sewers going to lead? So yeah, that gives me something to be working with. Thank you. Um, Zena, principal activity.
Ooh, principal activity. I mean, I am
What
certainly
what?
interested in hunting Nazis for sure.
Well, then let's go with that. What else interests us? Brandon, any thoughts?
Um, yes, I'm just trying to think of a pithy way of saying it. Um, kind of, what would you call basically investigating the weird?
I think we can do that as investigating what the game calls border, whoops the daisy, border science. Um,
That's the thing, the what caused the eruptions and their after effects, because it's still going on, right?
it is, it is. Um, T, what about you? Anything
Uh,
else that you think you might want to spend some time doing? I don't know quite well. I've only got 3 slots for this. We'll come back to you, Mark, honest.
uh, I think this might possibly fit under investigation. Well, no, I don't think it does actually. I think it would be dovetails. But a little light espionage, a little light spycraft. No, find out some stuff.
Weekend
Tell it to
spycraft.
specific people. Yeah.
Espionage, tradecraft. Mark, anything I can add to this?
Yeah, I mean, Nazis are monstrous enough to start out with, but if they are a little supernaturally monstrous as well, that will be fine by me.
So, if I were to change that to Nazi monster hunting,
Yeah,
that's
I'm also
monsters
fine
who are
with just
Nazis.
regular Nazi hunting too. That's
Yeah.
that's great.
Nazi.
We don't want to have to interrogate the monsters to ask
Yeah.
what their ideologies are.
So Nazis and their monsters hunting. Does that fit the bill? Principal activity, not hunting Nazis, but well, there may be some monsters. Okay. Um, Principal antagonists. Brandon, do you want to kick us off with a principal antagonists?
Um, well, I mean, we're hunting Nazis and monsters, but other than that, I think the intelligence services are all antagonists because they're all trying to trying to grab knowledge and carve out territory.
Okay.
Um,
Um, no, that works for me. Intelligence services. Um, T, anything else that interests you in terms of antagonists, those that interfere, those that you may interact with, I guess is what I'm interested in now.
Yeah. I think the sort of local crime slash, well, I guess black marketeers would work there as well. People in charge of attempting to control smuggling in the area, I think could be particularly fruitful.
Fine. What about you, Mark? Anything you want to add to this?
I'm always a fan of the remnants of like Nazi occultists or fanatics, I guess.
Yeah.
Probably like they've broken off from whatever Reich related garbage spawned them, and they're acting on their own agendas.
Nazi fascist fanatics and occultists. Zena, anything you want to add to that in terms of our potential supporting cast?
I think I'm perfectly happy with that. Can't think
Fine.
of anything that would add that is more interesting.
Okay. And then supporting cast, we'll kind of touch on that as we go. Maybe we'll introduce some recurring NPCs. I don't know. Okay, so that is the kind of game we are embarked on playing. The question now is, how does this turn into mechanics? And this is where you have a chance to influence, and where we all five of us have a chance to influence this, in terms of the GM's controls dice pools. So there are 5 pools, 5 groups at work here. External enemies, and if you hover over that, you'll see that external enemies is people outside of Islak and any agencies or organizations that the characters might owe allegiance to. Internal enemies are those within Islak who may be an issue. Berlin is the city itself, its environment, its people, everything from unstable ruins to refugees with not enough bread. Then we have monsters, which supernatural, alien, or otherworldly entities. And finally, we have the Cold War. And that's one that comes into play as the influence of the Cold War might play a part here. So I start with 5 d10s in each of those. Yeah. And each of you can add 2 dice, 1 to one to another, or 2 to one of them. And so can I, to any one of those. And what's important about this is that they're also a timer. Because as control uses dice pools, when control loses, they lose those dice. So over time, the dice that I have available to confront you with will, in theory, decline. When 3 of them reach 0, that's the end of the act. We epilogue out of that, we kick off another act. So it's a timer. It's going to make timing this in terms of sticking the landing at the end of session 1 or session 2 quite tricky, I think. But that's part of the experiment of seeing how this plays. So, if you want one of those to be a significant part of play, and that's why we do the kind of situation first, because my theory is that you will then allocate some of your dice to the pools reflecting what you're interested in seeing happen. See what I mean? And then I have to play to my dice, so to speak. So, where haven't I started? Zena. No, I did. Yeah, Zena, let's start with you. Have you got any preference as to where you'd like to put 2 dice or a pair of
Ooh.
ones?
Yeah, so I think I would definitely like to put 1 at least to Berlin.
Okay.
Or you know what? No, I'll just put 2 to Berlin, and that's my choice.
Okay. Okay. Brandon, any thoughts?
Internal enemies.
Internal enemies. 1 dice or 2?
2 dice.
Okay. So that's beginning to play into our intelligence services as antagonists embedded in Islak. Okay. T, what about you?
I think one to monsters and one to Berlin.
Okay. Old Berlin becomes a significant character. Okay. And then Mark.
I'll do one for internal enemies and one for monsters.
Okay, so that's 8 there and 7 there. Where do I want to put this? I want to put one into cold, I think, and one more into monsters. So we're kicking off with 5 as external enemies. It looks like those intelligence services are more likely to be hiding in plain sight in Islak. Berlin as a set of significant characters, both physical and human, and monsters, whether they are accompanied by the Nazis you are hunting, or whether they are the Nazis you are hunting, they are the monsters. And then the Cold War is going to be is a relatively subsidiary part of this, but not terrible. Okay, character generation. Now you've already chosen some nationalities. Occupation. What's your background? What did you do during the war or maybe since? And your occupation and background is made up of 2 words, an adjective and an occupation. And I put some examples there, serving military officer, traumatized bomber pilot, weary Soviet army soldier, etc. And I think that you've already had a go at this, Brandon, and we have a resilient engineer. Yeah?
Yeah.
So let me go around. Mark, as an occupational background, what are you thinking?
Maybe a like a field operative from like the Second Bureau,
Okay.
like the French intelligence.
Okay. So how do you want to phrase that as an adjective and an agent?
Let's do let's do compromised operative.
Compromise is so good.
It is a
Yeah,
good word,
it's
isn't
great.
it? Compromised operative. Okay. Let me go. So we've got our resilient engineer, unless you want to tweak that on the grounds that you've now got a better idea what we're about, Brandon.
I do, and I need help with an adjective here,
Okay.
because I'm diving into the idea that this character, or the basically or draw. I mean, I know that's coming in a moment, but um, was uh, basically being exposed to the border science,
Border science.
right? In an uncontrolled and unpleasant way, and so she wears an eye patch because without that, when that eye's open, it sees things that don't exist.
I think that's the draw. I don't think that necessarily is where you would describe what you are. It's more what has happened to you. So I
Okay.
think that's covered
Um,
in the draw, and then we'll look at traits.
okay. Well, I'll leave it as is for the moment.
Okay, fair enough. T, what are you thinking for your Brit?
I'm thinking a resentful bomber pilot.
Ooh, resentful.
Uh,
Okay, we will explore what he resents or she resents shortly. And as we're working, you may want to think about a character name for that very top row. Um, I have no problem with us tinkering with what might have been considered gender norms at the time. So I have no problem with an apparently female bomber pilot. This is a fantasy world of a type. And finally, Xena, our American. What are you thinking?
So I was also thinking bomber pilot, which is why I'm gonna go a different route because that's more interesting, having
we
a
can
mix.
have 2 pilots.
Oh, but I think it would also, hmm. Um, okay, so here's a question to you because I don't know exactly how these things worked in terms of historically speaking. But I'm thinking, well, there was some kind of medical service during the wars, obviously. Like I
Yeah.
was thinking, but I don't know exactly if it's only sort of, medics in the field or if there's also like, surgeons, etc. I was thinking of MASH, which is obviously later than this. Anyway,
But
so I'm
not by
thinking a
much.
traumatized, I don't know how you call that,
Traumatized medic.
medic or surgeon or something
Doctor,
like that.
surgeon,
Yeah.
take your pick. So traumatized
Let's go surgeon.
surgeon.
Not that I know much about this, but
Well, nor do I. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Okay, so we've got our backgrounds. Then the next step in this is the draw. How was your character drawn into Islak activities? And or the reasons for continuing. Now, over to the left-hand side of that, up on column P, are some example draws that I've put in from the rule book, just to give you some flavour of that. So T, I'm thinking. No, I came to you T first, didn't I? I've lost track already. Mark, I know I didn't come to you first for that last section, so I'll come to you first for a draw.
I think whatever whatever happened to compromise them, they were given a choice, either be like removed from service or do this more dangerous work. And so I think they were kind of
Okay,
given that
so
choice.
is there a sense in which they have been blackmailed to volunteer for
Yeah, I mean,
Islak?
by their own agency. Yeah.
So do you want to put something like that in as just
Yeah.
a starting point for your draw? We can flesh it out a bit
Yeah.
in what's called the draw scene in a bit. Um, T, what about you? What kind of draw are you thinking of?
Yeah, I think he witnessed something inexplicable during the war and is just getting, was before learning about Islak, was just getting, gaslighted and brickwalled and was not willing to let it go.
Fine. If you want to put something that kind of gives you enough of a hook to hang that on in that slot on the draw, that would be great. Um, Zena, how did our traumatized surgeon get involved with Islak?
it's very funny because T keeps picking the things that I find interesting. No, but
Okay,
I was thinking,
I'm definitely coming to you first
no,
next.
it's fine, absolutely fine.
Sorry, Sina.
Because I was thinking what would also be cool is even though I guess maybe I was the medical specialist on on the Nuremberg trials, as in interrogating people. I mean, not on
Oh,
them, but before. And that left a lasting impression because of these, what was it called? Order to delete certain impossible details from the reports. And so, even though I think they wanted to be done with everything, they now can't because they can't
you cannot forget
forget
what you.
about the details.
No, okay. So I've
T.
I've I've shuffled all of that across. Um, you can edit it as you would wish. Brandon, do you want to tinker with yours at all?
Um, I like mine. I just had a question for T
Oh, go on.
as to whether was it
Mhm.
like a terror at 20,000 feet kind of thing?
Mm.
Yeah, I
Where
had a
something
little
happened to the
bit.
plane while you were up and that couldn't be explained?
I
That's
think what it
just an idea. Anyway, no,
was
I'm good. I'm
was
good with my draw. Good.
I think what it was the rest of the squadron, right? They were flying in formation, um, and the rest of the planes just disappeared. And he seems to be the only one who remembers them ever existing.
Oh, that's interesting. And was no wonder he's resentful. It sounds like he might have been grounded as a result.
Oh, absolutely.
I
Right, right.
mean, what
And
about that?
complete gaslighting, right? Because they must
Oh
Yeah.
have
yeah.
existed and they're just all lying to you.
Okie dokie. So, right. So again, tinker with the broad example. Okay, next on our list is, hang on, got that out of the way. Attributes, action, influence, reason. All of them start at 1, and then you distribute 5 more across them. Action is taking action, firing a gun, punching someone, catching a colleague who's dropping off a cliff, whatever it might be. Anything physical is action. Influence is, I guess, what I would describe as charisma, charm, convincing someone, bullying someone, influencing someone. Yeah. And reason is, intellectual ability, education, capacity to do stuff, maybe even, common sense and wisdom. So if you'd like to distribute your 5, I think I've set them at 1. If you and what I'm looking to do is if you set your starting ones and then match it with your current, because these could go up and down in play.
We're adding 5?
You're adding 5 across those 3 characteristics, attributes, sorry.
Right, so you'll have a total of 8.
That's right, yeah. Oh, we got a clever
And
Russian.
mechanics question. This
Yeah.
is a dice pool?
It is.
Okay.
And the higher your number, the larger your basic starting pool. So in the case of Katya Turgenev, she wants to work out which button or which wire to cut to stop the bomb going off. Reason is 4. She will start with 4 dice in her hand. We have an action-centered by the look of it. Very action-centered. Wow.
Going all in.
Wow. Okay. Who would have thought? 5 is the maximum, by the way, just for reference. And that resentful nature clearly comes through in terms of that influence, and his experience has led to a slight slip in his reason, conceivably. What have we got over here? Our American traumatized surgeon, looking quite balanced at the moment. As indeed, it looks, is our French compromised operative. 3 in action, 3 in influence, 2 in reason. Smooth and dangerous compared to a clever, but don't necessarily ask me to do anything particularly active. We've got our fist fighter in the shape of our British resentful bomber pilot, and what looks to be a action and reason focused former surgeon, or maybe current traumatized surgeon. Okay, so that's easy, good. Languages. Way down the bottom, it points out that you speak your native language and have conversational German, just for the nature of where you're placed. But you have one other language for every point of reason. Conversational. If you want it to be as good as native, you need to spend 2. So if you have 3 reason, you could have 3 extra languages, or 1 language at conversation and the other one as a kind of as good as native. The conversational German is meant to be your kind of lingua franca, your common. The common tongue is German in this game.
So does that mean I can also spend 1 reason to have fluency level German?
Yes.
Since I already start with conversational.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
So you can just edit that to say native language and native speaker German or fluent German, however you want to describe it. Okie dokie. So I see. Yes. So a couple of fluent German speaker. our bomber pilot has got 1 to spend.
Oh, that's right, for his base one.
Yeah, yeah. So you could up the German or be conversational in French, Russian. Our Russian is clever, so is getting fluent German, which will cost her 2.
Okay.
And that leaves you
But
with
we
2
start
other
with
languages.
conversational, so that costs 2 to go fluent.
Oh, sorry, I see what you mean. Yes, yes. No, that makes sense. It does. Yes, yes, yes.
It's just 1 to go fluent, right?
Yeah, it is. It is for German.
And then I figured
Yeah, that's fine.
French, Polish, and English, or unless Czech is going to be in there.
Well, I think we'll manage with that range. And we've got a native French speaker, fluent in German with conversational English. Fair enough. So we've got a number of languages in common. Have we got names for these folks yet? I say that's a very, very nervous looking compromised operative, it seems to me, but there you go. So, okay, we've got that done. Traits. Okay. These are things you are good at. They could be mental quirks, they could be skills you've acquired. You will get at the start of play 2 positive ones and 1 negative one. Let's have a look. I think you've got damage eye sees things that it should not. Now, that's a 4th one. Now, it might be that
I'm happy to drop that down to one of the other traits. I just couldn't think of a way of saying it.
Yeah, fine. Now, the draw scene could cost you one of those. Could cost you one of those or grant you another one of those. So there might be something. Do you want to think about a draw scene that might relate to what effect this? Because what is it? Ordered to secure site X162 found a device emitting odd purple rays that exploded when its power was cut. Katya has a patch over her left eye because it sees things that can't exist. I think leave it as a patch over her left eye. I think it is to be discovered whether she sees things that can't exist. The Deuxième Bureau has compelled Josephine Martine. Yes, right. What are we thinking? That again, there's a whole chunk of examples from the rules on the CarGen page. Over on column, even further over, column U.
I think she is I like the social chameleon who can fit in with people.
Okay.
And I think like good at improvisation in the field, like using MacGyvery kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I put strong improviser there. You might, or in fact, if I could spell improviser, it would help. But you get. So we've got intuitive understanding of machines. Yep, fair enough. That's the engineering bit. Devoted to Soviet orthodoxy, brilliant, and despises the Nazis and their collaborators. Okay. Any thoughts over on the other side? Skilled pilot and driver, good reflex and sense of direction. That makes sense for our bomber pilot. Hardly knows how to survive in the most desperate situations. That sounds like a negative trait to me.
I think it's hardy.
Does it? Hardy.
Not hardly.
Sorry. Talk about see what you think you know. Yeah, fine. Hardy knows how to survive in the most desperate situations. Fine. Oh, wow. Wow. We're channeling Guns of Navarone now. Our resentful bomber pilot has a negative trait of belligerent. Say no more. Adept at improvising solutions in the field. Yeah, doesn't want to let anyone get too close. Okay. Fine, that makes sense. It's very open, this game, in terms of almost anything you can fit in the box you can have. What you might want to be thinking about your national agendas and your personal agendas if you're content with your traits. Which might fit in with some of what you've already described in terms of the characters. Oh, the British Bulldog spirit. Tenacious and very hard to distract. Oh, picks up small but significant details. Yes. The observation skill.
I wonder if maybe the surgeon picked up a tremor due to their trauma and can't do surgery anymore.
Ooh,
nice.
That would be interesting. I was wondering, but I do not, I mean, I don't know if this makes sense historically, because as I picked this, I don't know actually why. I think as I picked Spanish as a conversational language, I really like the idea that this guy is like, this is not his first rodeo, and he actually fought in the Spanish Civil War. But then I thought he might then actually not be let in on any kind of spy stuff because he would be deemed what is it called? What's it called?
He was
A too early anti-fascist.
Right,
I can't remember the word.
Yeah, a communist fellow traveler.
No. There's
no?
a word. She's talking about there's a word for having been anti-Nazi too early.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
And it's pre-something, and I've forgotten the word.
Well, I mean, we can look up that homework for session 2 is to look up that word. Yeah, being anti-Nazi at the wrong time. Okay, so that looks good. What about agendas then? We've got one for Katya. Make sure the Germans get nothing from Islak. In fact, if you can get them kicked out entirely, that would be even better.
They don't deserve anything.
Tree Mendoza. Now, what you would be thinking about as you're trying to pick one of these, and it's the reason perhaps that kind of shaky hand means you can't do surgery, might be a little bit too narrow for a trait because it would only apply when you were doing surgery. Try to find a hidden agenda that you are very keen to play into, because when you are constructing your dice pool and you pick up the number of dice equals to the attribute that is judged by me to be valid, if you can build one of your agendas in, you get twice as many dice. And it also gives me a kind of sense of what I can play towards. So, make sure the Germans get nothing from Islak. Well, I need to have some Germans crop up to face you.
Would discover the fate of the lost squadron be too narrow?
As a personal one, I think it is pretty narrow, but maybe you could spin it to a number of different situations where you were always asking that question.
Mm-hmm.
You know, did anyone when NPCs did anyone in the war disappear? So I think that there are ways to make that work. Because I think one of the personal agendas in the book that I put in the keeper is something like, find the person that you lost. So,
Can I ask a question about
of
this?
course,
So I'm torn between this American guy actually not, well, because of the whole background, maybe not being 100% on board with the national interests, and is more sort of, well, that's also where, they're living a lie. And so I wonder if it makes sense for them to have a personal agenda that is, well, on the one hand, they want to find out about all of this rejected stuff they were supposed to forget about.
yeah,
But also whether they are sort of like, how do you say that? They feel like they've made a deal with the devil in how, in working for um, the American intelligence services, and therefore sort of like trying to be, oh God, I'm sorry, I can't speak today. Um, Trying to, on the one hand, secure that whatever important secret knowledge doesn't get out to worse powers, but also not wanting necessarily to be 100% truthful and
okay.
forthcoming toward.
Well, I mean, that sounds a little bit like working for the other side.
Not really, though, as in, I don't know. That's
But
why I'm
anti-fascist,
having a hard time.
early anti-fascist, maybe recruited by the Soviet NKVD at the time. Maybe now it's about make sure that the Americans get nothing from Islak.
Maybe.
The national agenda needn't necessarily be one driven by your nationality. What have we got so far then? Root out corruption within Islak. So that's what Josephine is all about, personally. And gather evidence that our representatives on Islak's directorate is working for another power, then remove them when ordered. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Well, that's interesting. We've got a national
internal enemies pool.
Of course, of course.
Oh.
And make sure the Germans get nothing from Islak. In fact, if you do get great, find some way to undo the damage done to you by border science. So that's a good one, yeah, because that will play into investigating the border science you might encounter. We've got our Brit destroy all traces of border science experiments and its creations to prevent others making use of it. That makes sense. Discover the fate of victims of border science experiments during the war. So building on the lost squadron makes some sense. And then what else do we have to do? We've got a bit of trust to work out. Yeah, once you're comfortable with your national and personal agendas, we're then going to go round and you will know one another when the game starts. Know one another to have worked out whether this is someone you trust or not. So you are going to have 6 points of trust to allocate, where 0 is absolute zero trust, no reliance on this individual at all, through to 5 trust, absolute trust. You would place your life in their hands. But for every point that you allocate as trust, you have to give a reason. But we'll do that, I think, verbally. I tell you what I might do is we're coming up to our first break here. Can I suggest that we take a break now while you can mull that over? You've got the characters in front of you, time to make a cup of tea. Shall we give you back in our seats at 5 past the hour? Yeah?
Works for me.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just missed the time that you said.
Oh,
5 past.
five
Cool,
past
thank
the
you.
hour. Okay. I'll see you in a bit.
I'm thinking of changing something strong.
Mm. Oh, I found
What
the
do you
term, by the way. It was
Oh, go on.
premature.
Premature fascist,
Premature.
anti-fascist. Yes, that's it.
Hmm
Well.
I'm thinking of
Yeah.
making a small but important change.
Go on.
Just changing the occupation.
Oh, halted NKVD officer. Yeah, fair enough.
When you mentioned AKVD, I felt we need to have a political officer here, and it fit in with everything else without any changes at all. So I did it.
Spot on. No, that's fine. That's fine. Um, so, Zena,
Really quick before we start the recording, would everyone be okay if I dusted off my very bad Cockney accent for this character?
Sure.
Please.
Alan?
I'm
oh God, no, I'm Welsh. You can do whatever you like with the English.
All right.
I can't do any accent, so
Yeah,
I'm
no,
happy whenever anybody does.
all my slightly seedy gangsters are always Cockneys. I have to tell you, it's
yeah, well,
It does work.
it does. Yeah, you all right, darling? Yeah, it's that kind of person, isn't it?
oh,
So,
Bobby's been a naughty little boy, hasn't he, Bobby?
so Zena, we need a name for your character
Oh,
before we
goodness.
kick off.
Did I
And
even?
we're missing
I
a
didn't think
national
about
agenda.
names. I'm so bad at names.
Well, I mean, I did
Yes.
provide a link
Um,
in the card gen to the Story Games naming project, which I find worth its weight in gold.
The
Hang
cowboy names are
on.
especially good.
Where is it? Where is the link again?
Hang on, I'll put it in the chat here. Here we go. I've
Thank
just
you.
I've just created a German on the hoof.
I like
On the
Brian
hoof?
Murdoch.
Do they have hoofs now? This cold city?
Sorry, say again.
You said created a German on the hoof, and I went, have things gone that bad that they've all
Yeah,
gotten
hoof
hoofs?
shortages. Yes. Okay. Yeah, just to remind myself where I am. Yes, so we got one more national, and we're going to then talk about, got all of that done. Trust is where we get to. Okay, so in the order I can see you on the character keeper. Oh, let me start the recording again. Oh, I've started the recording here. Sorry, it's slightly more complex, this game, than it looks on paper. So let me start with Josephine Martin. Yeah. Is there one of these three characters that at the moment you're feeling you have greatest trust in, based on what you know about them, which is what's on the table?
I would imagine the Brit, probably Jack.
Okay. What is it that leads you to think that Jack is trustworthy?
I like that he claims something that other people might not believe and sticks to it. Like he
Okay.
seems to have integrity.
So integrity gives trust of one. Is there anything else about him that you want to pick out as leading you to think you trust him better than the others? Because you've got 6 to allocate.
Hmm.
Or you could trust everyone evenly for 2, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think I also appreciate that he's a little bit belligerent. Yeah, that makes him more trustworthy instead of someone who is a suck up.
Okay, so I've put integrity and belligerence and given him a trust of 2 to start with. Let's leave it at that for now, and then we'll come around again.
Yeah.
Moving along to Katya Turgenev, our masquerading as an engineer, now clearly an NKV officer haunted by events from her past. Who do you think you trust the most?
Let's see. I don't think she trusts anyone, but I think she would trust the most the person who she felt that she knew their type.
Go on.
Um, and um, I think it might be Josephine.
Okay. So you recognize her type. I
The
suppose.
motivation. In other words, by type I mean motivations,
Okay.
right? And
Okay.
people who join intelligence uh, matters, have fall into certain categories.
Okay.
And after a while, they're all very understandable.
Fair enough. So recognize her motivations. That buys you one. Um, if you're going to trust her more than anybody else, you're going to need to put at least two or three in there. So I'm going to come back to you to think about why else you might trust Josephine in a moment. Moving along to Jack Babb. Um, Jack Babb, our resentful bomber pilot. Which of these characters do you think you trust the most, Jack?
Hmm. I think it might be Thomas.
Okay. Why?
Uh, and this is a character decision, so Sina, feel free to veto. Uh, I think Thomas, just when Jack told him his story, was like, "Yeah, I believe you."
Yeah, that's an absolute.
Mhm.
He
Uh,
believes me.
and uh, I think I almost want to put it at three. I think Jack also sees Thomas as a little bit of a man of action, not to the degree that Jack is, but who is. Uh, Nobody who wants to live a long, stable, happy life, probably.
A man of action. Yeah,
Hmm.
always good to have one of those in your corner to be able to rely on them. A third one, are you tempted by? Or do you want me to come back round?
See, now, I wonder if what is a detail that Thomas noticed on his first job with Jack that Jack absolutely 100% missed, and ended up saving them both?
Ooh. Oh, it's a good question. Well, since it's about yeah, small but significant details, I wonder if, I mean, it depends on what kind of job we had, but maybe
It
he
it
just
it needs to be a low stakes, non-violent, because you're gonna have your first proper mission shortly. So this needs to be
Mhm.
something that maybe you noticed round Berlin or that might have put Jack at disadvantage if you hadn't nudged him. Yeah?
okay, well maybe it wasn't on our first job. Maybe there was just maybe we were out on the town and I picked up the a brewing fight that he was accidentally in the middle of and would have gotten and then instead of well would have gotten involved in by accident and I just like pulled him out of there just before, bar stools started flying
Mm.
or something like that. Um,
Yeah, yeah. What if the fight was a front for some pickpockets?
yeah, why not?
Yeah, so you,
Well,
you kept Jack's wallet from being stolen.
so yeah, I've put something in there as an aid memoir. Just tweak those to suit. I just didn't want to lose them while you were talking about it. Um, and what about Thomas? Is it Thomas or Tom? Just by
Oh, I think he just go by Tom or Tommy, depending on who he's talking to.
okay. Tommy Babb.
I
Tommy
think
O'Rourke, sorry, Tommy O'Rourke. So yeah,
um
go on.
yeah, so I think it's yeah, I was already drawn to Jack as well because of the shared experience of witnessing impossible things and either not being believed or being made to hide that. So that would be one.
He believes me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Um, and I think um I think I would go for 2, also at least.
Hmm.
As in, yeah, I think I like his belligerent nature because I've got a feeling my character can, I don't know, empathize with that or something, even if I didn't pick it as the
Belligerent but
negative trait.
likable, or again, tweak the words, but
Yeah.
we get the idea. Okay. Let me come back round to Josephine. Um, you've got 2 going for Jack, who's turning out to be quite a kind of popular character at this point. Good, reliable, good with his fists. Um, do you want to leave it at 2 or do you want to push it to 3?
I think I'm going to throw another one in there, and I
Go on.
think it's because I like him because he's not too bright.
That was
Very reasonable.
that was going to be my
Very,
reason.
very
Well,
understandable.
2 people can have the same view of Jack. It is perhaps difficult not to take that view. So let me come back to Katya. Um, you've gone 2 for Josephine. She hates corruption, recognizes her motivations. Do you want to push it to 3 or leave it at 2?
I think I'll leave it at 2.
Okay. Where do you want to go next? Let me ask you which one of them you trust least.
I think I'm 2s across the board, honestly.
Okay. Oh, fair enough. Right. So which one do you want to
Um,
start with?
we'll go with Jack, and the first one is that he's predictable.
I'd say that's fair.
Predictable?
Yeah, Katya is very much a cards on the table kind of person, you know. She she's there to represent her country's interest.
Say no
Um,
more.
and she is who she is.
So predictable gets you 1. Do you want to stick at 1 or are you looking for a second one?
No, we'll
Is
go
it
for a
is it
second one.
not too bright?
No, well, no, I unfolded that into predictable.
Okay, right.
Um, I think um, sympathetic.
Sympathetic.
She doesn't have a heart of stone, and remember, she's also, a victim of the circumstance. Is that
Fair enough.
she got maimed by a border science thing in ways that we don't quite understand yet.
Fine. Okay. Moving along to Jack. Jack, you're getting on like a house on fire with Tommy O'Rourke. Um,
Mhm,
who do you trust least?
mhm. Ooh,
Zero is an option, by the way.
yeah. I think it's Katya.
Okay. So
Mhm.
do you have any trust in Katya, or does that stay at 0? You've got
Hmm.
3 more to spend.
Hmm. I think 1, because it sounds like she's pretty open about really hating Nazis. And that's the sort of sentiment he can get behind. But perhaps not in front of.
No, okay. Open about hating Nazis. Fine.
That was
Let
mine as
me.
well.
Oh, yeah, well, fine. I mean, again, that is not a problem. Is there anything else that you quite like about, or it's not like, it's trust, but it's turning into like, isn't it? Anything else that Zena, that Tommy has going, thinks Katya has going
Oh,
through?
yeah. So I don't think there's more for Katya because I think the fact that she's so what was it, devoted to Soviet orthodoxy, would not necessarily inspire more trust in him.
But then you
On
were
the other hand,
you were a prominent anti-fascist.
That doesn't mean
yeah,
make him a Soviet
Just saying, just saying.
but
necessarily.
there's
Like, no,
also
but I think it's
personal.
the
Mm,
nationalism of the
Okay,
thing.
okay. So
Um,
where do you want to spend your next one then, if it's not going to be on Katya?
I think I'm going to spend another one on Jack, actually. And I think it is because given Tommy's background, he can recognize useful skills when the going gets tough. And yeah, Jack has that in spades.
He recognizes his useful skills. That's fine. Okay. So that pushes that to 3. Okay. Let me go back round. What have we got left, Josephine? We've got
I think
3 and Jack.
I do have one for Katya. I think it's
Okay.
because of her devotion to her country. Yeah.
Devotion to Mother Russia.
Yeah, I think I do have another one. I do have one for Tommy,
Yeah.
because there's something, I think, for Josephine, there's something romantic about Americans. And so
Oh,
it's like, oh yeah, like they must be,
He's a good-looking guy, I think.
yeah.
That's what Katya thinks.
very distinguished moustache, it must be said. Americans are. Do you want to go as far as sexy?
I think like
But
what's the word? It's like
I'm putting attractive.
it's more like their like I like their spirit. Like there's
Okay.
something romantic about the American ideals.
Okay. So romantic view of American ideals. Does that
Yeah,
seem like one
yeah.
to work with? Okay. Katya also finds, I beg your pardon, Tommy attractive. That earns 1. Do you want to spend another one? Your last one somewhere, Brandon?
I don't know.
Katya?
Let me think.
Okay, I'll
Let me
come
think.
back to you. So far, Jack, you've got 3 with Tommy, 1 with Katya, and none with Josephine. In terms of Jack, that puts you at moderate trust, as with a long-standing colleague. Where do you want to spend it, T?
Yeah. Um, how much do you think Jack knows about what Josephine did during the war?
Mm.
As much as you
Um,
want to have told them.
Yeah.
Probably not much,
Mhm.
unless you were briefed by someone. Like Josephine has not said anything, but if you were given intelligence, that's totally cool.
Yeah, I think his clearance is probably not that high. I think he is a useful tool. Hmm. But Jack does speak French, so I think he might have had some, interactions with French troops and maybe the resistance
Mm.
uh,
Oh, yeah.
during the war. So I think he's got sort of like lingering positive feelings towards, anyone who is. Maybe he assumes you worked for the resistance and you haven't told him you didn't.
Yes, that would
That seems very
work.
Jackie. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because maybe you came down in France and you were helped out by the resistance. Yeah, I knew some
Yeah.
French resistance fighters. Okay. So one more for you to spend. You've got 2 left to spend, Tommy O'Rourke.
Mm, yeah, I was wondering the same about no, does Tommy know that Josephine was compelled to join ISLAC rather
Um,
than
I
joined
mean,
voluntarily?
I guess
Probably,
there.
but maybe not why.
Yeah, exactly. There may be something about her demeanor
Yeah.
during the induction process, or when you get maybe a certain cynicism about Islak. So
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think that would be part of it sounds weird, but I feel like that would make him more
Yeah.
trusting rather than somebody who's bought the whole thing hook,
Hmm.
line, and
Hmm.
sinker.
so not
Um,
entirely convinced by Islak. Yeah, is that a
mhm.
fair description of that?
Yeah.
So that leaves you with one more to spend. Coming back round to Josephine, you have one left to spend. Where do you
Uh,
want to put it and why?
I think it's going to be with Tommy,
Okay.
because I feel like his trauma is potentially useful.
I can
As a field operative, people with trauma are easy to manipulate,
I
easier.
can use his trauma. Wow, that's brilliant. Okay. Um, yeah, I'm almost tempted to go back and check we haven't got a line on that one. No, that's cold. Katya, you talked about two for each. Where does that sit in terms of a second one for Jack then?
I'm I think I'm going to put a third one in on Josephine. Changing my mind.
Oh, right, right.
And it's because she's an opposite number.
Oh, right.
You know, there's a professional. She's a professional. These other two are basically, I mean, you know, they're professionals at their job, but this is not their job.
No, yeah, that's fine.
They're involved in Islak as you know, interested
My
amateurs
professional
in a
opposite
scheme.
number. Okay. Raising it to three. Okay. One more to spend, Jack. What do you think, T?
Yeah. I think it's with Josephine, because he finds her easy to talk to,
Hmm.
because she's a social chameleon who can fit in with anyone.
She is.
Oh,
She's so easy to talk to.
yep. Also, it's probably good. No one's giving Jack big secrets that anyone will believe him about.
And finally, Zena, what are you thinking about Tommy?
Mm, um, I think it's probably also Josephine.
Okay.
And in this case, I think, yeah, adept at improvising solutions in the field. That's something to admire and rely on in a pinch.
Admirable skill set. Yeah?
Hmm.
Okay. There we go. So that is our level of trust. Now, what you can do is lift their trust in you across into the column alongside that. So Katya, Josephine has a trust of one in you. So whereas your trust in them is three, their trust in you is just one. You with me?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
Josephine, Jack, you trust Josephine at two, whereas Josephine trusts you also at two. Oh, three. Sorry, three, Jack. Yeah. Yeah. Um, and this may go up and down in play. So we have trust sorted. Okay. Um, we finally are now going to roll some dice. Um, it's a heck of a character creation process, but there we are. We've got our characters. We're going to do the draw scene. Now, I've put the details of this on the mechanics tab. The draw scene is an opportunity to begin to shape the characters and deepen what we know about them. It is also an opportunity to exercise the core mechanic to experience the core mechanic in a low stakes context. Okay? So each player in turn frames a scene, a draw scene related to what you've already outlined. Um, you must make it about or expand on the draw that you've currently outlined. You must say whether it takes place when that happened, in the immediate aftermath, at the point of recruitment in Berlin, or once you have been recruited in Islak's HQ. And there needs to be at least one NPC who is opposing what you want out of this scene. And then once you tell me what you want out of that scene, we'll see how we resolve it. So, does anyone have a clear idea of how they'd like to frame? Because I don't. I'm just somebody may have given this a bit of thought as they've been going through. So, does anybody want to frame that? Be the first to frame that scene.
I can do it.
Okay, so let's use
Because
you as
I know
our
what the
guinea
scene
pig.
is, but I don't know what the goal is. You can help me,
Okay,
perhaps.
okay. Well, when, what, when, who? That's our starting.
Okay.
So when is this?
This is in a hospital. Um, in the wake of the investigation of site X162.
Okay.
Uh,
My pen is giving out.
um, and um, and an attempt to secure the uh, the materials that were there. Um, there was an explosion. The technical staff who were working on it were killed, and
Okay.
I was knocked unconscious and had damage to one eye.
So then who is present?
I think um, I think I'm faced with um, it's almost a group, I think, um, that are in my hospital room,
Okay.
which has been segregated away from, which is in a wing of the hospital away from other patients.
So I'm imagining a group of Soviet officers or two or three officers walking down this corridor, echoing corridor um, in this isolated Soviet hospital. We see
Yeah,
them go past a number of doors. There's no one in the rooms, and they
that's
finally
right.
come to yours. Yeah.
Right. And yeah, there's clearly a couple of officers and someone who is a doctor who is trailing along with them.
Now, in
Um,
terms of what you want out of this, if you win this conflict, if you come out ahead in this scene, you could define another positive trait. If you come out not ahead in this scene, then you will come out with a negative trait. Now, if your positive trait wanted to be something in relation to the effect that explosion had on you,
yes, I
you're
think so.
you're taking the risk to get something good out of that. The risk is you might get something bad.
That's exactly what I wanted. So that's
Okay.
that's
Okay.
that's clear what it is. Yes, the goal um, is is to
To find out what that did to you.
is to find out what it did to me, to find out what it how to interpret. I'm thinking that she is seeing things that don't exist, and the question is can she understand these things, or are they simply going to haunt her and
Okay.
bedevil her?
Okay. So which
Um,
of the others wants to play the doctor? Hands up, doctor. Any takers? I can do it, but I'm offering the other players a chance to be in the scene. It's gone awfully quiet. This is the problem with the open hearth, folks. You're all too polite.
I was about
There,
to say,
there are three of you. There's a doctor, an officer, and a note taker. The officer is probably an interrogator.
I'll be the
Mark?
doctor.
Oh,
I'll hop in.
we have a doctor. Mark, you've taken your mute off, so I'm going to assume that you are in the game.
I will play the note taker.
The note taker. Zena, do you want to play the interrogator?
Guess that means I play the interrogator.
Okay,
But
okay.
I'm not sure what to interrogate about. We'll
Well,
well,
see.
I mean,
the oh, that's easy. The huge question here is a question of incompetence.
Mm.
Oh,
Is that Katya was in charge of seeing that this went off correctly and that things were kept secret. You know, she was there in order to maintain secrecy of the recovery of these things and to make sure everybody behaved in an appropriate fashion because that's what political officers do.
so Zena,
And so that's what they're they're always if you're here to interrogate, you're always suspicious that people have hidden agendas or bad
yeah.
motivations.
so Zena, just open the conversation with your comrade Katya.
Yeah. All right. Um, how would you call? Well, I guess Comrade Turgenev. I see you've recovered from your recent, how do you say that? Incident.
Materially, Comrade Captain. Thank you.
Um, well, there are a few questions we have to clarify here. Clearly, things did not go to plan, and we need you to step us through minute by minute what it is that you found and what went wrong.
Now, I'm not interested in a blow by blow. I'll be
No.
honest, because
Yes. Well, as Comrade Captain, I have done so, and I am certain that our efficient service has placed such things in your hands. Do you have particular questions?
I think
I'm
as
gonna cut to the doctor.
okay.
Yeah.
I was to say, I think as this conversation is beginning, the doctor is sort of at your bedside, eyes and shining light in your eyes, looking at pupil response. It's
When
not the
you
same on both
when
eyes.
No, and I react strongly when you shine a light in my damaged eye.
Yeah, and the doctor sort of nods, and
And
then
not in the way that it's not in the way that, okay, this hurts, but rather there's but something deep, a kind of disturbing reaction, a shudder, as if you just revealed something.
Mark, as the camera kind of takes this in and drifts over to look over your shoulder at the notes, is there anything in the file that you're holding that suggests that Katya is at significant risk here?
I think it's mostly like is she fabricating this for some end?
Right.
And yeah.
Right.
Right.
So
it seems unusual.
and are there bits of, because I'm just looking at your background there, I can't resist it. Are there bits of this report that as she is going through this, confirming or not, we see you highlighting or crossing out certain things, expunging them from the record?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I think underlining for potential reaction. Yeah.
Okay. That's good enough, I think, to have set this up. So now I need you to be able to see the dice roller. Yeah?
Okay.
So the
Roll for your
link,
party. Yes.
yes, the link is in there. And the way this works is that I, as control, get to roll for this 5 dice. And then each of the characters can add or subtract 1 from that. So if you want this to go badly for Katya, you would want to add some dice. If you want it to go well for Katya, you will want to take 1 away. So Brandon, would you like to add or subtract?
I think Katya's in terrible trouble, and I don't want to see her crash and burn. So we will subtract a die.
Okay, so I get 4 dice. Xena, the interrogator, does he believe her?
No.
No. So
Sorry.
that's going to add a
No,
dice.
they're predisposed not to believe.
Exactly.
Makes perfect sense.
Doctor, in terms of your examination and the reaction to the eye,
Mhm.
I guess that you would add a dice if you want this to just be something wrong with her eye that's going to negatively impact her, or you could lower the dice by 1 if you wanted this to be something that beyond your current understanding.
Yeah, I don't think this doctor is equipped for this, so I think it makes sense to lower it.
Fine, down to 4. And finally, our note taker, who we know because of the control, is actually the person that matters in this. There's the front man and there's the person who is, in charge. So, what's your thinking?
I think I will remove a die because I don't want to do more paperwork on this.
I also get to play this game, so I'm going to remove a die as well because the state is quite interested to see whether this border science has done something useful for the state. So I am now going to roll 2 dice. 2 d10s. I need to get this right. 2 of those, none of those. That's a 6 and 8, right? So I'm going to make a note of that, 6 and 8. And now you, Brandon, choose from Katya's characters sheet which dice you want to roll. So it's, what do you think that this is principally about your physicality, action, your ability to convince them that you are honest and truthful, which would be your influence, or do you present a very logical and reasoned line?
I am simply going to give a careful, and I give my careful and detailed and repeated down to the last jot and tittle a rundown of what took place and my subsequent reactions when I awoke, and my speculations as to what that device may have done, based upon its effect on myself.
Well, that seems to me that you're working with reason. So you have 4 dice so far. Do you think that your 2 positive traits can have any impact on this?
I think the one does, which is my devotion to orthodoxy.
So that gets you to 5 dice.
I'm an unquestioned. I mean, if I'm not a patriot, who is? And I was a political officer. I mean, it's I was selected for that mission because they trusted me.
Exactly so. So you are going to roll 5 dice. I don't think your hidden agendas have a direct play on this at this point.
No.
So I'm going to leave that 6 and 8 there. I've changed the color of the dice to green. Would you roll 5 d10s, which is to say, put a 5 in the box next to the left of the d10s and hit submit.
Okay. 5d10, submit.
Oh, they're still blue. That's disappointing, isn't it? Okay, well, I know that mine was 6 and 8.
Yes.
Now, the way we interpret this is we look for the highest number of dice, right? The highest value. So my highest value is 8. Your highest value is 10. You win this confrontation. You will come out ahead in this scene, okay? What you now need to do is to look at the mechanics tab. And the way this works is that you got 1 10. If you got 2 10s, you'd have 2 successes. You have 1 success.
Right.
You can spend that success as described on the mechanics tab.
And
you can spend it as
yes, and a success is a die that's higher or a die that's higher and equal.
No, it's higher. So the 10 is what we're interested in. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So and if you've got 2 10s, that would be 2 successes. 3 10s, 3 successes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, unfortunately, you need 2 successes to get a positive agent consequence that is gain a new positive trait. So we have yet to have certainty over the nature of your eye. But you can lock a trait, which means that when things get sticky, I can't make a trait unavailable to you. Okay? Or you can increase trust in an agent involved in the conflict by 1. None of them are there. So you don't have much option here.
So, okay, I'll lock my orthodoxy then.
Fair enough, because that would make sense given the context, yeah? And that means that that's not susceptible to me when we start play proper. Okay, Zena, was that a hand up?
No.
Oh, right, okay.
Sorry.
So who wants to frame the next draw scene? Otherwise, I'm going to start picking. Okay, Zena, that definitely. Oh, go on, Mark. You've got an idea. Go for it.
You got it.
What happens if the tie, if the numbers tie?
Tie, it's you.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Zena. Sorry, Mark. Josephine.
Oh, Zena can go if you got it.
Oh, it's either way is fine. Okay.
Okay, Zena, go for it.
Oh goodness. Okay, so I wait, I need to just go and get the mechanics thing up again. Right. So I think I'm most interested in either the immediate aftermath of these interrogations, or the recruitment. No, actually, no, the immediate aftermath.
Okay.
That's the when. Um, the who, I mean, well, I think it's just some kind of superior or possibly well, yeah, certainly a superior who is I don't know, maybe doing a debrief about this. Maybe it is the person telling me what to reject or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, the only problem I have is, yeah, the goal, I guess.
Okay.
I think, well, I think let's put it this way, my character, I think, is not a fan of this kind of secrecy and also not a fan of not getting more answers on the things that he's heard. So maybe his goal is to either find out more about it or at least be put in a position to do so. If
Now
he's
you are going to end up in Islak anyway,
exactly, I know
but
that's
maybe you arrive in Islak with a little bit more understanding of this stuff.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think that there's an American. He says he's one of the prosecution team and just needs to debrief you on
Hmm.
this. Um, and I'm seeing, a small interview room, either in the prison where they're keeping the defendants, the senior Nazis, or in the courthouse itself. Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's just the two of you, and he's saying, so sorry, no, who would like to play the American prosecutor, inverted commas, who's actually here to stop stuff getting out?
I'll do it.
Yeah, go ahead. So Brandon, sat on opposite sides of the desk, you have a copy of the testimony that Tommy has collected on the nature of some of this the medical evidence presented, um, and you would prefer that this went no further. Go ahead.
I reach into my briefcase and I pull out a document, and I say, um, "What's Captain?" Doctors are often are typically officers. Uh, Captain O'Rourke, I'm sure you appreciate the delicate situation that our country is in at this time, and it would go best for everyone if you would if they put your signature on this document.
I think, yeah, I think then Tommy will probably read it fastidiously
And
before
you
putting.
peruse it, and it is a completely sanitized
Mhm.
version of the account that you gave.
Um, I think, yeah, I'll be like, well, sanitized in the sense of all of the impossible stuff is out,
All of
right?
the impossible
Yeah,
stuff has been removed. Everything else has been, and everything's been neatened up so that it
yeah, yeah.
makes sense, that it reads perfectly well, and such like that. And it exonerates you, in terms of your activities, and it even in fact kind of, you know, gives you, compliments you on your activities, and suggests that you be rewarded, in future for things like that. So
Okay. I was like, well, sir, that none of the actual content of my interviews is in this.
um, on the contrary, Captain, I think you'll find that the entirety of the content of your interview, that national security um, could or should allow to be available, um, to the public, or indeed to any but the most classified circles, is in this document. Don't you agree?
Um, okay, I understand your meaning.
shall we see whether this agreement proves watertight, or whether you manage to get some more understanding out of this? So
Sure.
I am going to start again with 5 dice. What I'm thinking here is, if this goes well for O'Rourke, if it goes well enough, it could be a trait that says something like, I understand more of this than they think.
Hmm.
Or maybe this is all bullshit, as a negative end of that. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking of. So let me start with Tommy O'Rourke. Do you want to know more, or would you be happy for this all to be bullshit?
No, I think I can't believe that it's all bullshit, unfortunately.
So that suggests you want to drop that challenge from 5 to 4 dice. Okay. What about our slightly sketchy prosecutor? Presumably, you'd like this to stay as quiet as possible, and to convince
Absolutely.
her that
This
that this is just, though the
that
man
this
was just rambling.
right. This is. I don't know what fraction of this is nonsense. It's not my business to know.
In fact, you don't want to know.
But right, I don't want to know, and so he doesn't want to know either. So
Okay,
I'm going to add a die.
back up to 5. Um, Mark, what about you as a player? Do you want O'Rourke to come out of this with a greater or lesser sense of this
Yeah,
unreal
yeah.
stuff?
I think I'd like to drop it. Like, I want to know more.
I want to know more. Okay, that's down to 4. What about T?
Hmm. I might raise it uh, because I think that, you know, this invalidation of your experience might make your experience of trauma worse.
Fair enough. Let me clear the dice. Oh, clear. Yeah, there, it's all gone. So I get to roll 5 dice. I will submit those. And that is a 10 is what you have to beat. Yeah.
Amazing.
So now, how many do you think that this is? I don't, it's not about action, this is it. This
No.
isn't the bar fight that we're almost certainly going to see Jack Babb in. Um, is this about your reason? You pick out some small but significant details from this document that leaves you thinking, no, there's a fly in the ointment here. They're trying to tell me this guy is rambling about stuff he doesn't, he's just trying to get a lighter sentence
Yeah.
by sharing this rubbish. Um, but there's some small detail that you picked up in that means that you continue to believe that it's real.
I think it's reason, and I think the small but significant detail certainly comes into play, as in maybe seeing what they are redacting already, also gives us some insight.
Yes, yes. What they don't want you to know is as important as finding out what they do know. So that's great. Um, is there anything about your personal agenda here? Because that's true, to show heroism and patriotism for the shams that they are, hollow, worthless grandstanding. The character saw patriots throw innocent children down wells during the war, and heroes sell out their friends for cans of soup. This prosecutor has really appealed to, your sense of patriotism.
Yes,
This is
national
something
security,
we should
etc.
know, but they don't need to know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that certainly would play this hidden agenda plays into the way he perceives any action by the government, etc. So,
Well, just as well that T suggested that, because that means that those 3 dice for reason becomes 6 dice for reason. Plus, and I may have got this wrong actually. One point, yeah, trust 2
So
points
what
two.
doubles it?
Oh, it's 2 dice for a trait. Brandon, I'm going to ask you to roll another dice in a moment just to see whether
Okay.
the trait plays for 2 plus the 6 that your hidden agenda does to reason.
oh
So you're
wow,
rolling 8 dice, 8 d10s
that is some.
with a
Okay.
single 10 to beat.
Okay, well, let's see what happens. Cool. 8 dice, is that correct? Wait, what
8 dice.
to the left of it? Bu- bu.
And then hit submit. Oh, look at that, a pair of 10s. So you succeed and you get 2 successes.
Nice.
Okay,
To spend.
so ties are successes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, well
so,
then I had 2 successes when I rolled then because I had an 8 as well as a 10.
I'll check that, but I think it's matching. So the
Yes.
110 to beat. So you got an 8 and a 10.
And you had an 8.
And I had an 8. Oh, that's
Yes.
true. Let me
Two
check
tens are
that.
2 successes against a 10. How can a
Let
10
me
and an
check
8 not
that.
be 2 successes against an 8?
Because I think it's about. I'll look.
Okay.
So that's certainly 2 10s versus my 1. That's 2 successes. That's plain and simple.
Right.
So you can then spend, Xena. Either you can lock, if you look at the mechanics, spending successes, you can either lock 2 traits or gain a new positive trait by spending 2. While you're thinking about that, I'm going to look up, because I thought I'd nailed this down in my head, but I have to say, now I'm getting nervous about it. Resolving teams, to control dice group facing the game, bring the code. Okay.
In first edition, at least, it's number of dice that are higher than the highest number rolled.
Okay, so.
But if it were higher, then you couldn't succeed against a 10, right?
Yeah.
Who is against both the background and garnering 3 successes. 1, 2, 3, because it's better than that 10.
Oh, it's like it's sorcerer dice. So it's if you have it does so like if you have 2 10s and the other side has 1 10, then you would succeed because you have more of those.
Okay. Hang on, I'm just rolling the dice. Here we go. Okay. You roll your dice and the opposition rolls theirs. What you want are numbers that are higher than the highest number rolled by the opposition. The more dice that are higher than the opponent's highest number, the better. Each die higher than the opponent's highest dice is a success. Count up the number of successes. So I roll 2, 4, 9, 10, 10, 10. You roll 4, 5, 6, 6, 8. Jane's highest number is an 8, while Steve's is a 10. Steve has 10 dice, a 9 and 3 10s, higher than Jane, so the tie doesn't work.
Okay, so that means if you roll a 10 on the difficulty, it can't succeed?
Yes,
it can
I
if
think
you have
so.
multiple 10s.
Yes, multiple 10s.
Okay, so does it say that then?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
If, however, there's a tie and both sides have rolled the same highest number, look to see if one side has more of that number than the other side.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
and then
hence,
that's a single success, or
no,
what? How many?
then remove the if so, Steve rolled so 2, 4, 7, 10, 10, 10. Jane rolled 5, 6, 10. Then 1 10 from each side would be removed, leaving the dice looking like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, one of those 10s is cancelled by my 10, so that is 1 success.
Cool.
Yeah.
But
So
you
then
you will have another dice to roll, Brandon. So
Okay.
all you can spend, you've only got 1 to spend.
Yeah,
Xena.
so I have 1 to spend and you get to roll another die.
Well, no.
No, I meant Brandon, as in that's a different situation.
Different situation, exactly. Yeah. So, do you want to, lock a trait so that conflict, so it cannot be lost as a consequence in future? Yeah.
Indeed.
Okay.
Right, I'll do that.
I'll clear that. Do you want to roll 1d10? And we know there's a 6 and an 8 is what I rolled, and you already got an 8 and a 10. So another 8. So there you go. That is. That doesn't, so it's not higher than my 8. There's still only 110. Nothing changes. Right. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for clarifying that, because it seemed very clear until we did it. Okay. Mark, shall we come to you next?
Yeah, I think I got something.
I want Josephine to frame me a scene.
Yeah. So I think I think it is with what's her name? Justine Cavre, the cadaver.
Oh, right, yeah.
And this is when I think this is when I'm presented with the evidence of it's in her office, or it's in like a waiting room. It's a holding room, like an interrogation room, kind of.
Yeah.
And I think she brings in a dossier and says, we have evidence of you like selling secrets basically to all the sides.
Anyone who will pay, everything is for sale.
I insist that is fabricated, and she says it might be, but regardless, the documents are here, and the only way to make this go away is to join Islak. I think the conflict is, did she fabricate these or not? Like, is this genuine or not?
Okay, so are you truly in trouble, or are you?
Did I actually do the thing?
Yeah, exactly. So, well, I mean, do we need to play through the scene, or is that clear enough? Do you want somebody to be Justine Carvre?
That's clear enough for me, unless someone really wants to.
Okay, fine. Then let's just go with it. So, if this goes well, there is the possibility of a trait that is something like they only think I'm compromised. Yeah, or something like that.
I know the truth, or
oh yeah. Fine. So I start with 5 dice. Who wants to make this more difficult for Josephine? T, shall I start with you this time?
I think I want to make it less difficult because I think it is interesting if she's falsely accused.
Okay.
Especially given that we know that there's someone she needs to take out.
Brandon, make this more difficult or less difficult?
When she picked compromised, I wanted to see her really compromised, so I'm going to make it more difficult.
Okay, that goes up to 5.
I want people to have screws they can put to her.
Okay. What do you think, Zena? Do you want to make this more or less difficult for Josephine?
Ooh. I think, yeah, let's go with less difficult. I don't know, I like both versions, so.
I too would quite like this to be falsely accused, to give Josephine maybe an ace in the hole. So I'm going to roll 3d10 on that basis. And the best I can do is a 9. So 9 to beat. Do you think this is reason or influence? I don't think it's action unless this turned into a fist fight.
I think I'm trying to talk.
Do you want her to be convinced that you think you are compromised?
Yeah, I think it would be influence then, because I want to, even though whether or not it's true, I want her to believe that I think it's untrue.
Yeah, you want her to think that you think. Yeah. Fair enough. Do you think social chameleon who can fit in with anyone is a useful ploy here?
That would be.
So do I. So I think 3 for influence plus 2 for that trait is 5. I don't think the others apply.
No.
I don't know. Doesn't want anyone to let anyone get too close. Would that be a valid, this social comedian, she can't actually get close to you and get under your skin in terms of this?
I don't know. I don't think that applies. That's more
okay. Fair enough. No, I thought I'd just throw it your way. So that's a 5. And do you think root out corruption within Islak is?
Shit. Yeah, that would definitely apply.
Yeah, so that's 6 for the influence of 3, plus 2 for the trait. You're rolling 8 dice with a single 9 to beat.
There's a 9. 6. So those cancel out.
Yeah.
So if this works the same as Sorcerer does, which it looks like it does, that looks like 5 successes if it cancels out those other ones because you don't have ones to beat the other ones.
No. No, it's not cancelling out. It's how many have you got of 9 or above?
Right. I think let me double check because it might be.
Because that's what I'm reading here, is that we need to remove dice of the same number on a
Right.
one-to-one basis until only one side is left with any
Right.
of that particular number.
Yeah,
So
so I think that
it's
the
not
nines
what's
cancel each other
below.
out.
Yeah.
The nines cancel out, the sixes cancel out, and then I'm left with my 4.
Okay. So the 6s cancel out, the 9 cancel out. That means that the 4 wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's a tie,
But there's
both
only
sides
one
go.
of them.
Yep. Yeah.
So
One
yeah.
success.
So that's one success. So you can lock a trait to
Yes.
keep it safe for later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Yeah.
Okay. Last but not least, Tommy. Difficult to say this is at the point when you notice the rest of the squadron's gone. But the
Yeah.
aftermath or later?
I think it's later. And I think we see Jack in London. It's raining, film noir. He's smoking a cigarette outside of what looks like a government building, and he pulls a letter out of his breast pocket and checks it really quickly. And we can just sort of see like claims unfounded, further pension denied. And then at the bottom, there's a signature of Colonel Brampton. I should have come up with the name. And he tucks it back in. And then we see an older man in military garb coming out of the building. And the watchman on the door says, "Good night, Colonel." And Tommy stuffs out his cigarette and begins to trail him.
Okay, Zena, Mark, which one of you wants to play Colonel Brompton? Or I will. I'm going to ask you where Brompton goes.
Yeah, I think he's going to another government building, which is surprising because it is evening, so you'd expect him to be going home or perhaps to the club or for a bite to eat somewhere.
Yes.
But he goes, around the block and sort of down a couple side streets and then knocks at this a door that seems to be closed on another government building in a pattern that, of course, Jack. It's not a hard pattern. Jack does remember what it is and is let in.
And what's at stake here?
Yeah, I think the real question is how much does Jack actually know? Because I think they know they're not going to get rid of him. He might be useful. Um, but has he actually been given any genuine information besides, we are willing to put you in a place where you might go learn more for us on our behalf?
Okay. Now, how do you interact with the Colonel then? Because you followed him here.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when he comes back out?
Yeah, I think Jack will drag him into an alleyway when one becomes appropriately available, and will threaten him with grievous bodily harm.
Okay. So we're in action. So you're on 5 dice to start with, but so am I. So I'll clear those dice and say, do we want to make this easy or harder for Jack, the man everyone loves? Mark, do you want to make this easier or harder for Jack?
Let's make this easier. Drop my
Okay.
one.
So that because the Colonel is quite aged.
Yeah.
So down to 4. Zena, what about you? Harder or easier?
I'm gonna say easier as well.
Okay, 3 dice.
Now
Brandon,
I
what do
have
you
to
think?
say, now I have to say harder. Okay, fine. I'll
Of
be the heavy.
course.
I want to make this easier for Jack because I like Jack too. He's such a likable chap. So I'm going to roll my 3d10s in the hope that I can get a bit better than anything so far. Oh, look at that. 3, 9, 10.
Pretty good roll.
So you start
Yes,
with 5.
this is Noir. This is Noir. The likable characters often get it in the neck.
So 5 dice to start with for action. Is there any way that your agendas, your personal agenda in particular, could play into this?
I think it absolutely does. He is trying to hunt down more information.
He is. So that's 10 dice. And now, do any of those traits kick in here?
I would say it's belligerent.
Yeah.
This
So
is
that's
not
12 dice.
and potentially tenacious.
I think so. So that is 14 dice
All right.
with a 3, 9, 10 to beat.
Oh, khaki is one of the colors.
Oh,
Are they? Nope, it's eights, isn't it?
They're
You-
D12s.
They're D10s, I'm afraid, not D12s.
Oh,
Try
it's
again.
on the other side of
It
the.
is.
Okay.
It's
I'll tell you
X. It's XDX.
Yeah.
Did I? No, I did it again. I'm so sorry.
I know.
Jack is so good.
Hear
He
that.
rolls
Nope.
12
Oh,
sided
sorry.
dice.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
So final go.
One more time. I'm really channeling him.
Okay.
Uh,
So I got a 3, so we discard that one. I got a 9, we discard that one. I got a 10, we discard that one. You end
Go.
up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 D8s to win here. So you have 5 successes to play with.
Yeah.
ah.
Wow. 2 will buy you a new trait.
Yeah.
These dice work. This is a
I know it's
funky
odd.
dice resolution.
There's
It's a
something
really
there's something
odd.
weird here.
It's a really odd one because
I'm going to work
if you
through more
match
of the
the top
examples.
dice and have an
Yeah,
enormous number
well,
of intermediate dice, you get a
we're
lot of
gonna
successes.
roll with it. We're gonna
Yeah,
roll with it at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, so T, you've got 5 successes, I think.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. I think it would make sense to gain 2 new positive traits and then lock one.
Okay.
And I may need to, you know what? I think one of them is knows what's really going on is too broad, I think.
Knows more than they think.
Yeah, ooh, I like that. But I think it might be specifically about the uh what's the word that we've been using? Border science.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna think about the second one. And I think I'm gonna lock the one about knowing more than they think about border science.
Okay. Okay. Whoops. Can't. There we go. Okay. And then you've got a second one. Are you gonna think about that? I think I did get those 5 successes because I not proposing 699.
Yeah, I was just looking over the examples again. I think since that 9, 6, 6 knocked out all 3 of those dice,
Yeah.
the other dice are beating zeros, basically.
Okay. So the more dice you've got, the better.
Yeah. So if you line up the dice and from lowest to highest and just like get rid of the ties,
Okay.
the remaining highest ones are
Well, what I'm going to suggest then is that everyone gets a new trait because no one has failed. You've all won. I'm going to give Jack 2 because that I know that's true. So yeah, I'm at a bit of a loss here. 8, 8, 10, 6, 8. Okay, so how many dice did Katya roll? 4, 5, 6.
5. I think I rolled 5 dice.
Yeah, you should have rolled
dice.
6 because you should have got 2 for the trait.
That's right.
So look, okay, so that's 2 traits and lock 1 for Jack. Tommy, 1 trait and locked. I'm going to give you a positive trait, so you can work that one out. Josephine should have had 5 to spend.
Mhm.
That could turn into 2 traits and a lock.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Katya, roll. Hang on, let me clear that. I'm going to stick with my 8, 8, 10, which is, I think, what I got.
On me against me, you got an 8 and a 6.
Oh, so I did. It was only 2 dice. You're quite right. Go ahead. So now roll 6 dice.
Okay.
And let's see if we can make some sense of this. And then I'm going to sit down and read it properly.
I had a pretty good roll before, but I doubt I'm going to repeat
Well, if it's
that.
worse than the previous one, we'll discount it.
Okay, 6 dice.
Oh, so that's so I got a 10.
You did not get
No,
a
I
10.
didn't. I did not get a 10. I got an
You
8
keep rolling. You keep
and a
rolling up your
6.
numbers.
Yes, I do. Well,
You had
it's because I'm in charge.
You had an 8 and a 6.
So does that leave you with 4 successes?
So you rolled a 6 and an 8.
Yeah.
So your highest one is an 8.
Yeah.
And he has 2 that beat that, so he has 2 successes.
2 successes. So that
Yeah,
buys
you don't just subtract out matching dice. You only do that if the top ones tie.
Exactly.
Okay. So those 2 successes buy you a positive trait for Katya.
Okay.
I'm still struggling with this, but we'll get there in the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, you only cancel out the top ties.
Yeah.
And then
I'm inclined to say that we won't take a break now. We will do the briefing for the mission, and then session 2. God, we've spent 2.5 hours getting this far. Dear God. A 2-shot may not be enough, colleagues. Anyway, so let's see if we can get a briefing done. So you are now you've done your initial kind of briefing, you've turned up, you've had your normal induction, and you finally get the call to be briefed for a mission as a team. And you are called to the office of the Honourable Miles. Where's he gone? The Honourable Miles Wright, known in the cafeteria as His Lordship. And you're called to his office, and he said, "Oh, I'm so glad you could come. Please do sit." And it's a very cramped office, but he has a cabinet to one side. He opens it and he gets some glasses out and he pours you each a glass of sherry, and says, "Do please have a sherry." Katya, you've never been offered sherry by a senior officer.
No, vodka on a couple of occasions.
Exactly. This seems very odd.
The British are odd. I'm perfectly happy to accept their. Yes, the British are very strange folk. But in Rome,
Jack, this bloke is a toff. He's dressed in a very thin pinstripe with a very attractive kind of waistcoat, and he begins to reach me by saying, "I'm terribly sorry, but why am I sorry? I'm terribly sorry, but I have to ask you to do something well below your pay grades. We've had a whisper from our German colleagues that the Stasi." He looks at each of you. You know the Stasi? Familiar with Stasi? Yes. East Germans, Russian chappies. Had a whisper from a
part of the Warsaw Pact, sir.
Well, I'm sure they will be when it's created, but right
that's
now
right.
they are
the
the
Warsaw Pact's not there.
running dogs of the commies. Oh, no offense. No offense, my dear girl. Now, the trouble is,
I bris I bristle.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I'd forgotten you were here. I think I was expecting a German. I do beg your pardon. Um, now where was I? Oh, I've lost my thread entirely.
You were insulting
Oh
my
yes,
country and those
I
people who agree
was.
with my
I
national
I think
was.
philosophy,
before
sir.
I
that you were
was.
apologising. Oh, we've got to do a job.
Yeah, indeed so, Flight Lieutenant. Um, uh, we need someone to go and find out something. Uh, our German colleagues have told us that the Stasi may have identified someone of interest, a Dr. Christian Kohler. Um, and he leaps up to series of desks. I know I had it here somewhere. Here we are. Yes, yes. And a really tiny blurred photograph of a man. Um, with a couple of Volkspolizei, the East German Vopos, the police service, who are closely engaged with the Stasi. Yeah, they took this photograph the other day, um, and it does look a little bit like cola. Köhler, I suppose. I do. Umlaut. Um, looks a bit like this chap, and he is a figure of interest to us as an organization and perhaps to the Allies as a whole. But sorry, again, I forgot you were there, my dear girl. Do apologize. Just got used to talking about Allies. Post-war, ha. More sherry, anyone? Um, but yes. So he puts this down, and who picks up the photograph?
I do.
I think
Oh,
I do.
Katya is
If no one,
like
if no
like
one
a
is,
snake striking. Got it. So what we need you to do
so
is
yes,
to meet with our colleague. What do they call it in the service? A contact, a German contact, a friend, uh, in a bar called the Cafe Bohème. Sorry, my dear Josephine, my pronunciation is very poor.
OM.
Bohème, exactly so, exactly so. I've always been concerned. It's odd, isn't it, the way those accents work? I've
Yep.
always found that very strange. So yes, Cafe Bohème. It's in your sector, he says, kind of gesturing at Katya. The Russian sector. Sorry, Soviet. You prefer Soviet, don't you? I do beg your pardon. And yes, we need you to go there and meet our contact and find out what they know about Kola, that chap. Uh, all clear?
I mean, what's he done?
Well, we believe he may have been involved with certain research activities during the war for the Nazis. He really should have, Dr. O'Rourke, have had his time in court. But well, we didn't catch him.
all the
This
more
so
reason to
you
find
think,
him now.
and
Indeed,
what
indeed.
is the name of this contact?
They will identify themselves by wearing a white carnation.
and this contact, are they dangerous?
Our contacts, no, they're entirely trustworthy.
Then why send 4 agents?
Well, this is an operation outside. Again, I'm terribly sorry. Um, our sectors, and the Stasi and the Volkspolizei are not a pleasant bunch.
Better to
And
keep a low
so,
profile then?
one would certainly hope that you would cause no fuss.
So this Köhler is a Nazi who's believed to have
Oh, as Nazi as they come, my
involvement
dear girl.
involvement with border science in some way.
We believe that he was involved in some experimentation, the details of which I'm afraid did not. We believe that one of his lesser accomplices was interviewed in advance of the Nuremberg trials. Um, but strangely, the evidence that we hoped would come out of that interview never reached the commission. Uh, Apparently, he knew next to nothing. In fact, in fact, Dr. O'Rourke, I think you took his statement. Hang on. Yes, here it goes. Yes, I think that is your signature, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Yes.
It
So,
appears to be.
so we were quite surprised that Kohler wasn't named as part of that evidence, and they did not substantiate much of what we believed was true about him. Um, but suspicions have continued, and he could not be interviewed himself, of course, because we hadn't caught him.
Is his lordship as disorganized as he seems, or
Um,
is this an elaborate ruse?
Charmingly
um,
befuddled.
Charmingly befuddled, I think is yeah. I'm just looking at yeah, I think do you have any more questions? I'll ask you, I'll answer that question in a bit. I'm terribly sorry. I'm due elsewhere. Is there anything else I can help you with? Tonight would be the time to be there.
And after we make contact, then what?
Well, we'd like you to find out what's actually, whether this is Kohler, where he is.
And if it is,
Track
and we find
down,
him?
Well,
track
if
down Herr Kohler and bring him in.
well, one would rather like to know what he'd been doing, and make sure that he's not doing it anymore. What?
Make sure definitely, or make sure bring him in?
That's an interesting question. Um, to be honest, Her Majesty's government would be quite keen to get this all over and done with.
Understood.
Are you saying that Islak would be most desirous of that? Or
Sorry, you've drawn me on an area where I really shouldn't have said. Forget I said anything. Any other questions? As I say, I am rather on the clock.
Katya, she doesn't roll her eyes exactly, but her glance to the side shows how do you react to such an inane statement as that? Forget I said anything.
So, are there any other questions, or we'll cut to the Islak bar,
Yes.
where the four of you can have a chat about this?
Yes.
Yeah. No more questions. Cut to the Islak bar. Subsidized alcohol, and subsidized food in the cafe. There's a restaurant for the higher ups, obviously, but any conversation between you?
Just remarking on what an idiot his lordship
The
is.
the first thing you'll notice is Katya is obviously trying very hard not to burst out laughing in the exit to the room. That she has, she has her poker face on, but it's a struggle.
And once you left the room, by the way, he came out, went the other way down the corridor, and then you say, "Oh, you hear it? Oh, bugger!" And he's dropped a file, and he's scooping papers up into his file. I'm interested, Jack. What did you make of all that?
Himself very free with the sherry, mostly.
Yes.
What Jack heard, and I don't think it's quite what his lordship said, was that he's been given full reign to go find and kill this guy.
That's what I understood as well.
I know he's not that bad. Certainly served under worse.
Tommy, the fact that this relates directly to your kind of backstory here, what do we see as an audience that makes us suggest that this has had any effect on you?
I think, well, I mean, maybe during that conversation, as he mentions this guy and then pulls out that report, he's probably, because he's not I mean, he's not an intelligence operative or whatever, so he's probably not got the best poker face, so his eyes wander that way and like thinking back, and a furrowed brow, thinking back to all of the stuff he could not, that was not put into his report. Um, yeah, and I
I,
think he's quite determined now to find this Quilla.
I am
so
curious,
at the
Tommy,
bar,
how, no, hang on. I am curious, Tommy, how your trauma kind of, how do we know that you are traumatized? How do you deal with it? Is he a heavy drinker, heavy smoker? How does this manifest?
Yeah, I mean, I do think that he partook in some of that sherry for sure. Uh, and but I think the trauma isn't necessarily related to the interrogations he did, right? It's more about what he witnessed during the actual war. So
Okay, I'm still curious how it manifests.
probably more jumpy than you would like for a surgeon.
Fine.
well, he's got a tremor.
Yeah.
Didn't he say?
No, we didn't end up with a tremor.
Oh, okay.
No, but still. Um,
Um,
Charles,
so
can I just ask Jack? You have served under worse,
Hmm.
but he is that kind of that upper class twat that
Hmm.
that that is not a million miles from that colonel.
Hmm.
And I just wonder what you are feeling about British representation at Islak.
Hmm.
Because you are resentful, aren't you?
Yeah, he is. Um, I think he can be precise in that resentment, though, um, because he was, stonewalled by specific people. Um, and I think he, rightly or incorrectly, sees his lordship sort of the way that everyone else sees Jack, which is kind of a useful idiot. And I don't think he's especially nationalistic. I don't think he's, disillusioned to the degree that Tommy is. But I don't think he, needs to represent the Queen. Yes. I don't. I'm sorry. I was doing some history math there. I don't feel like he is particularly upset that his country is not showing itself to be a shining light right now.
Fair enough. And so, Katya, the initial response is one, this is laughable.
yeah,
How
I
does this make you feel about, Islak, the way it's run?
I feel it's a miracle that the organization holds together, honestly. It's and that it doesn't leak like a sieve, or perhaps it does leak like a sieve. Um, Tommy, um, the his lordship struck a nerve in there, didn't he?
Well, I've always felt, deep regret at not being able to find this higher up Kurla. So, of
Yes,
course, I would like to finish that job.
I get to the idea that uh, you were not very happy with the document that the his lordship
You know,
spoke of.
you know how it goes with these kinds of documents.
I know how it goes. They put in front of you what it is that they desire you to say, and you have the option to sign it or else to find yourself in very unpleasant circumstances, one way or the other.
I understand that.
Yes.
Jo
He
Josephine,
just nods.
I am curious about that briefing. You have a background in espionage.
Hmm.
How are you left feeling at this point?
Much the same, that the leadership is incompetent, and yeah, unclear whether that is purposeful or it's just another agency that is run by people who don't know how spycraft works.
Okay.
Do you indicate as such?
Oh yes, absolutely.
I my I'm I am not an intelligence agent, but I know a great deal about how secrecy within an organization is maintained, and uh, perhaps it is simply a facet of a group that has too many nationalities in it with too many different objectives in mind.
Or perhaps it's a garbage can that we've all been thrown into to dispose of us with plausible
Perhaps
deniability.
I know that I was an embarrassment to my superiors. It was indicated that certain persons were very interested in making use of the equipment to be found at a certain site, and I grievously disappointed them by allowing myself to be blown up.
Did they get the equipment?
This was border science materials. I do not know what they actually did manage to retrieve from the facility.
Hmm.
And at that point, I think I'm going to screen wipe to a wet, cobbled street, a back street. I think that we can see street lights illuminating ruins and set of basement stairs going down beneath a bomb-damaged building with a kind of A board outside that advertises Cafe Bohème and an arrow down. And that's where we'll pick up next time. I'm going to pause the recording there.